Hey, what's up guys? It's Goodthalion and welcome to the setup video for the SpeakEZ. This project was so near and dear to my heart, still is, obviously. It's something I've been thinking about doing for a long time, and something I think a lot of dudes and dudettes out there want to put in their house, and it's like, so how am I gonna make this happen? So the concept behind SpeakEZ is I want to have a bar in my house. Like, who doesn't want a fucking bar in their house? And I'm a big kid, so I wanted to have a rotating bookshelf that leads to a secret bar in my house, and that was the original plan. I hadn't even intended to make it streamable. I was just gonna build a bar in the house, something simple, easy peasy. But around January this year, 2017, I started brainstorming on ideas for how I could implement this to Twitch, what kind of show I could put on Twitch with like a bar type setting. So I came up with this concept. I wanted to have a barcade with multiple camera angles, with a hookup for live music, in case I wanted to have maybe some musical guests in to play some music, which we've done on SpeakEZ. And to be able to put on like a fully produced show within it's a relatively small space. I mean, the room itself is only like, I don't know, somewhere around a couple hundred square feet. It's not large. It's not a large room. Maybe under that. Probably under that, honestly. It was originally an office room behind some like French doors type situation right at the front of my house. And we started this project back in, I think the end of January is when I really started like getting together with Kevin's wife. My friend Kevin's wife is the designer who helped pick out the materials, and then her guy Brent, who while unreliable with his timing, he showed up late so many times for this project. He did absolutely incredible work, so at the end of the day I wasn't mad about it, but it took a little bit longer than I had anticipated. But I guess that's just contractors. Materials in the room we decided to go with was sort of like a very dark ebony birch. It's a stained birch. I wanted to go with like a dark wood and metal accents, and then on the banquette, the booth portion of it, we went with a vinyl, but it sort of has like this faux horse skin leather type look to it that I really like, but it's super stain resistant, you know, so if you spill your beer, easy to wipe off, easy to clean off, like any restaurant booth would be. We went with that instead of like real traditional leather or some sort of suede material, because of you're gonna spill when you're in there drinking and streaming and stuff. So I wanted something that would look nice and classy on camera and sort of pop, because we went with like this sort of like, I can only explain it like, it looks like hot dog buns next to each other on the booth itself, and then there's like a custom table in front of it, which is actually a pretty simple like laminate type situation, but it's like it's another grain of wood look to it, and we really wanted to bring the whole room together with these sort of like natural tones and metals, and have it feel real masculine, but at the same time like just feel like it's a hidden fucking bar, you know, which is what you want. I mean, that's what I wanted when I came up with this. Starting this project, I didn't realize how overwhelming the technical side of it would be. You know, I knew I wanted to have microphones in there, but I wrestled with what kind of microphones was I going to go with, and I went with lav mics, wireless labs, which introduced their own kit of problems that this point have pretty much ironed out, getting them to good quality. They'll never be as good as like, say, like a broadcasting microphone, but the quality from these things is really nice. I like them a lot. Had to add some compressor on there, so it wasn't peaky so much. The first couple streams in the room is kind of peaky, but we have these wireless lav mics that are being controlled from the closet outside of the room, which we're gonna get to in a moment, which is, it's kind of like the brains of the room. So we went with these wireless lab situations from Shure, and I really dig on those a lot. But inside of the closet is like from the closet out to the room is it's just a clusterfuck of wires. I mean, like I literally drew this like wire map of how I needed things to work in this room, because in the closet there's a PlayStation, there's an Xbox, there's a Switch, there's a Wii U, and then there's 2 cable boxes so I can watch 2 different things at the same time on separate TVs, because in the room itself there's 2 TVs up on the wall for viewing, and then there's the TV that's dedicated to gaming, which has the Dream Home Arcade pedestal system in it. And the gaming PC, which is also in the brains of the SpeakEZ with the closet, the exterior closet. So we're talking about that right now. So we obviously, we have all the consoles in there, and the obviously want to be able to entertain and watch sports with buddies. So we have the cable boxes back there. And that room, the heat's really not a problem. I actually had my buddy install sort of a vent inside, in between the wall of the closet and outside into my house, and make it, the molding match the rest of my house. And I have fans that push around air in there, and it never gets too hot, which is nice because there's 2 PCs, both from CyberPower PC. They gave me a custom little SpeakEZ thing on the side. These things are rocking i7 7700Ks, like 32 gigs of RAM, twin 1080 Ti's. They're all underwater too. It's all custom looped underwater, so they don't get like too hot, but obviously there's exhaust. So that's what we're running in there with the 2 PCs. And then one of the PCs, I'm actually running dual Magewell Pro Capture quads in there, because I needed to be able to capture 4 camera inputs. I need to be able to capture all the inputs that are coming from the consoles. So all the consoles go into a switch that I control with an IR blaster and an app, so it's all app controlled. I don't actually have to physically control it unless I need to or want to or whatever. So all that's going into a switch that goes into a splitter, and so this splitter goes into a capture card on the PC, and then it goes into both of the TVs that are out on the wall. That way, if we want to play console games, but someone's playing an arcade game, you could do that. And if we want to watch sports on there, the TV, you could do that. So I basically made it via switches and HDMI switches and splitters, so I could put any signal anywhere, which was the goal. I wanted to have it be fully versatile. If I want to put like PlayStation on one, Xbox on the other, and the arcade on the other, I could do that. If I want to do like VR and then watch the game, well, you can't because I'm in VR, but my buddy's in the room wants to watch a game, you could do that. And I was really happy with how that turned out. It is just, like I said, it's an absolute clusterfuck of wires in the ceiling in there. Which, by the way, I had a lady come in and do like a custom like Venetian plaster dark gray ceiling, which like nobody sees, but I know it's there, and I like it. I think it goes really well with like the dark stained wood and so on and so forth. So I dig on that. Anyways, so yeah, there's the 2 Magewell Pro Capture quads inside the streaming unit. Because there's 4 camera angles and I can capture all those simultaneously. Technically 5, because one of them's a USB camera on top of a vertical ultra wide, which I dedicate that screen to chat. Like, that's where I read chat. It's all blown up and it's big, easy to read when you're in the room. So it's like chat's in the room with you. And there's a camera on top of that monitor, which is a Logitech C920, simple. I'm hoping to do a different solution because the quality on that is okay. It's not as good as the Canon Vixia G40s. There's 4 of those, 1 in each corner of the room. Each of those, 2 of those corners actually have the Vive. Like fucking, I'm all over the place right now. I'm in my office like thinking about this room, and there's so much going on at once. And hopefully we got some visuals for you. I know I got a lot of videos, so there's some visuals in there. So then we got the Vive fucking room bullshits, and it's all VR ready and stuff. So also in the room, we're looking at one of the corners of the walls has 4 XLR inputs, which go through the walls and then come out into the server brain closet where everything else ends up. Which, by the way, I know that it's a wire mess in there, but there's no way around it. Like, I guess I could like zip tie some shit if I want to, but I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, No one sees that. I don't see it. It's out of the way. It's not a fire hazard. So it looks good. I mean, to me, it looks fine. The room is clean. So we have the 4 XLR inputs in case we have some live music in. And then over around the other wall, next to the corner of the banquet booth area, there's basically a smart panel that I wired. It has 2 USB 3.0 ports, one going to each of the PCs, one to the gaming PC, one to the streaming PC. And then it has 3 USB 2.0 ports. Because sometimes USB 3.0 is just finicky. I've had things just not work on USB 3.0, even though it's supposed to be backwards compatible. I've just had devices just fucking not want to. I don't know why. So I just, whatever, fucking whatever. So it's 3 USB 2.0 ports and an HDMI port and a display port. The HDMI out is actually used for VR. The display port is used for the ultra wide chat monitor, the big monitor that I have in there, the vertical monitor, and that all works out very well. Like I said, I use that for chat. And that's my little smart panel. So if I ever need to like plug controllers into the PC or, play with whatever peripherals on the what's it called? The streaming PC, it's easy to do. And then also I have the Stream Deck, which is like, without this thing, I wouldn't be able to control shit. So this thing was a godsend. The Stream Deck came out like a week after I had just finished building SpeakEZ. This thing, I control the camera angles with it because there's a bunch of camera angles, and I use several different angles at once. It's a small room, but each camera angle offers up a different thing. Like we have one that's overhead when you're playing at the arcade machine. If you want to see the controls while we're playing, we have one pointed directly at the it's pointed directly at the what are they called? Fuck, curtains. What are curtains called? I don't even know. It's pointed directly at the curtains. So that's for live music. Then we have a couple that are pointed directly at the booth. And then I have one that's pointed at the TVs because I like to use the TVs as my alerts. So actually, when I play alerts in SpeakEZ, I'll play them on the TVs so I can see it. And B, like, it could be a visual in the room, but for people who are watching. So that was like one of my ideas. Is I wanted the whole thing, everything that happens in the room is like, it's like the stream is in the room with you. That was the goal for the room. Whether or not we got that to that point, then it's up in the air. But I think it all turned out pretty well. All right, so basic equipment we've already gone over a lot. The console's in there. We've talked about the audio equipment, using the lav mic, so on and so forth. Let's talk about 2 things that I haven't talked about yet. Obviously, we got the 4 camera angles, Canon Vixias, blah, blah, everything's going through the ceiling. There's so many HDMI cables in this thing, dude. Just through the ceiling, man. I just, God, I can't even, if I'm gonna try to hunt down a photo and put it in this video. If I don't, then whoops. If I do, cool, there you see it. So up on top in the middle of the room, far corner, or far middle rather, there is a mini split, a ductless mini split. I use these in my house a lot. This is my 3rd one, I think. I have one in my main office and one in the gym in the garage. And this, what they do is it's a self-contained AC unit that keeps the room cool. And it has a compressor outside, so it's completely silent. This thing makes no noise, but I could make this room an icebox. 60 degrees in here with all the electrical equipment running. All the everything running, the fucking kegerators, and because there's a kegerator. Shit, I didn't even mention the kegerator. There's a kegerator here, dude. It holds 2, it's a double tap kegerator. It holds 2 6th kegs, or it could hold 1 full half keg dealy, but I do the 2 6, obviously 2 taps. That's what fits in there. And then I've got a mini fridge as well, and some other storage built into the countertop area. Countertop is steel. It's made to wear and then wipe, so it leaves sort of like character behind. It's supposed to look kind of gritty. It's not supposed to be like that stainless steel, like super polished look. I didn't want to do that in here. I wanted it to feel kind of gritty, like the countertop itself, worn like a bar top, and I think that turned out really well. I like that a lot. So, but I'm getting off course here. So, but obviously the kegerators is cool shit, dude. I like to rotate the kegs, order a couple a month, and me and my buddies go through them, and it's just a really good time. I mean, be able to pour beers and play some dumb arcade games is a real good time. Speaking of arcade games, the crown jewel of this room is the Dream Home Arcades, which I bought it. This isn't like a sponsored thing. The thing was not cheap. It basically runs on a PC, and then it has a shell program called, Hyperspin. And Hyperspin will basically, it'll organize all the games that are on it based on whatever emulators you're using, and then it categorizes it. I mean, this thing, they loaded it up with, it has fucking like everything on it. It's silly. This thing, it's an absolute, it is a nerd's dream. This arcade machine, and everything works. They programmed all the controls to, I had them do a 4-player top. So anything you could think of, load up Dreamcast, play Power Stone, load up some arcade X-Men shit on there. You can play 4-player X-Men. It's crazy. I love this thing, and it all, obviously it all runs HDMI through the wall back into, because I have a splitter on the back of that. One goes to the display. I use 3 LG displays in here. Don't have the models handy, but they're just basic displays. The larger display is a 55-inch 4K display, and then the ones that are up on the wall are just like whatever 30-something inch, and it's like, I think it's 31-inch, and I don't know, that's 1080p. So they're just basic displays up on the wall. But the one hooked up to the PC here, and then the gaming PC that's in the closet, the SpeakEZ Brain, those are both hooked up to a 4K screen. And that's also the screen that like console games will get pushed out to as well, if I'm not pushing up to the top screens. But that's like the main gaming screen in the room. And I made sure that the camera angle could get a good backwards over the shoulder shot on that portion of the room as well. And I think with that, we pretty much went over the majority of the equipment in the room, everything important. Vision for the room. I absolutely love streaming out of here, though most of the time I spend in this room is not spent working or streaming or broadcasting. When we do SpeakEZ shows, I like to have people in town, and we just make it a party. It's a good time. And at the end of the day, this is a dream come true. Having a room like this in my house is an absolute dream. And it's all because I got lucky on Twitch and on YouTube, and I acknowledge that. And, I appreciate everything that I get to do, and that's why I think it's always really important to be able to, do the stuff we do with like Guardian Con and do charity work, because I'm blessed and I want to help other people be blessed. But I'm not going to preach to you guys right now. So this is SpeakEZ, man. Any questions, leave it in the comment section below. Hopefully I covered everything, but every time I think about this project, I just get confounded about like just the technical bullshit that had to be done to get it to work and to get everything put together, and everything that's behind the beautiful walls and the nice moldings and everything. And it's just like, I love this room, man. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys back inside of SpeakEZ. Bye.